Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. So it's another beautiful day outside, so we thought we'd come out here and get some more work done, try to take advantage of these nice days as much as we can. All right, so today what I wanted to do is I wanted to show one of the biggest problems that we have up here in the desert is obviously going to be the heat in the summertime and how we water our plants. So last year we definitely didn't water nowhere near what we were supposed to in the first half of the season. We were only watering like once or twice. I'm gonna leave that in there too. So we only watered like once a day. And then when we ran across a lady that's been living up here for a long time, and we drive by her house, and then her front yard, huh?
I got a new name.
What?
Desert Rose.
Desert Rose over here, right? So we rode past her house, and in her front yard she had a I can't call it a pumpkin patch because she had more than just pumpkins growing. So she had pumpkins growing, she had corn, tomatoes, onions, the whole shebang, and everything was like green and looking good. So I was like, you know what? We pulled over and we asked her like, what's your secret? Because we've been growing corn for longer than you have, and ours doesn't look as good as yours does. And she said she waters 3 times a day. So I was like, man, like that's crazy up here because of the water restrictions and everything. But so what we're trying to do now is we're trying to find a good solution for watering without having to use so much water every single day. So one of my things was I was going to build a slow drip irrigation system, gravity fed, right? And I'm gonna build one for every bed. I don't know how it's gonna work. It may be the same as me coming out and watering every day in the end. I don't know in terms of water usage and all that stuff, but hopefully it won't be as bad as it was last year in terms of us having to come out here 3 times a day and continuously hit with water. So I mean, we do have a plan in place. We're gonna mulch the soil so that it can keep some of the moisture in the soil. I'm gonna use the buckets to provide that continuous, slow, steady water to the plants. But I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make sure that the soil is nice and wet before I even rely on just the buckets alone. So the purpose of today's video is to show you guys how I'm gonna make this gravity-fed system and test it out and see if it works. So you guys will know what I did and whether or not it's something that you would want to do at home, and then at least you'll have the steps that way. All right, so before I get started, let me go ahead and show you guys the stuff that I'm going to be using to build this system. So right here I got some 1/4 inch irrigation hose, not very big, right? I got some 1/4 inch irrigation hose right there. All this stuff I got from Home Depot, easy day. And I had to ask the guy, I had to let him know what I wanted to do in the store, the guy in the plumbing department. I let him know what I was trying to do, what I was trying to accomplish, and he pointed me in the right direction to grab all the stuff that I needed. So this stuff that I have is not something I came up with or anything like that. It's actually what was recommended by the guy that works in Home Depot. And this is a Bulkhead Union. It's a Bulkhead Union. This is what's going to, basically I'm gonna drill a hole, and this is going to be sticking out like the bucket, you know, inside the bucket, outside the bucket, right? So and you'll see what this is for. But this is a Bulkhead Union. So in order to align this well, I have this. This is a bib. I didn't know that. All my years of all 43 years of my life, this has been known as a spigot. A spigot. That's what we've always called them. I don't know if a spigot is something different or what, but this is actually a brass hose bib, right? And this is a half an inch, brass hose bib. So the reason why that's important is because this Bulkhead Union, it has a 1/4 inch fitting, or that hole is a 1/4 inch, and half inch, excuse me. This is a half inch, and this is a half inch. So when it goes in, it's gonna have that perfect fit, just like that, right? So got the bib, got the brass union. I got the book on irrigation that was for free. What else we got? I have this hole dozer, right? And this actually is It's not a 1/2 inch. This is a 1 3/4 inch, right? Because the guy was trying to get me to get the 1/2 inch, but to me it didn't make sense because the 1/2 inch seemed a little. It was when I lined it up with the brass fitting, it didn't. The brass fitting was too big. So if I would have cut the hole, the brass fitting would have been too big for the hole. So I would have had to file it or do something to make the hole bigger anyway. So I just went ahead and went what the next available size up that they had, right? So this is a 1 3/4 inch, 1 3/4, and I will let you guys know if you're gonna see whether this works or not. So hopefully I made the right call. I have these inline drippers, right? These are inline because my intention is to have maybe a dripper every, I don't know, 12 inches, so every 1 foot. So I'm gonna run a hole. I'm gonna run part of the hose from the bucket, about 12, well, down to the bed, right? And then I'm gonna have a dripper, and then I'm gonna have some more holes going from the dripper about 12 inches to the next dripper, and then I'm gonna just chain them like that all through the bed. So I got these inline drippers. There's a 10-pack, and these are 1 gallon per hour. Not necessarily what I wanted. I really wanted at least a half gallon per hour, but they didn't have them in the inline drippers style. They were all the inline. This is the only one that I could find. This is the smallest one I could find that was an inline dripper. The next thing I have is gonna be an inline shutoff valve. I got these just because, right? I got these just because I didn't know if I was gonna want to use them or not, so I just bought them. They were on like $2 or $3 for 2 of them, so I bought them just in case I wanted to use them. So that's that. And that's just a way for me to shut the water off on the line versus having to cut off at the spigot or the bib, right? Then I have these micro tubing stakes. Once again, this is just something I bought just in case I need it, because it's always better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, right? Because if I don't need them, I can always take them back, or I can draw them to the side in the event that I need them later. The next thing is goose plugs, and this is basically, these are just like if you make a mistake and you put a hole in the hose and you didn't want to put it in that spot, you can plug it and keep the water from leaking out, right? Or you can cap off the end, which is my intention, is to cap off the end of the hose. The next thing is, I bought 2 packs of the inline drippers because I have a lot of holes. And more spikes. And then I think that may be, nope. Oh, and this, I think this is it. This is the last thing. This little piece right here is what they call micro tubing compression adapter, right? There you go, micro tubing compression adapter. And all this is, what this is for is once I have everything on the bucket like I want it, mounted on the bucket like I want it, the hose is gonna go in this end, and this is gonna screw on to the bed. That's it, right? So then the line will be coming out and going into the bed like that, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and get started and walk you guys through my process, and we can see what we come up with. All right, cool. All right, guys. So I got my hole drilled in my bucket right here, right? So unfortunately, the one that I bought, I don't know much about tools. Like, me using tools was the first time I used tools was like last year when we first started the garden, and I built a couple of raised beds. That was my first time since like 6th grade using a drill, right? So I don't know much about tools. So when I bought this, I didn't realize I didn't have the piece that's supposed to go into the drill. I didn't know, I didn't realize I didn't have it. I have this one, right, that I was using for other things last year, but it's already, the piece is already attached, and I don't think it comes off. I tried to get it off, it didn't come off, so because I was gonna just take it off of this one and put it on that one, but it didn't work. So I ended up using this one, and this one is a size 2 1/8, right? This is a 2 1/8, whatever it's called. I forget what it's called now. But I ended up using this one instead. So what ended up happening essentially was, because I went with the bigger hole saw, whatever it's called. Obviously I have a bigger hole, much bigger than this is, but it works. I can get it to line up to the point to where I can't see daylight, which I'm hoping would mean that there's no leaks. Okay, even if it is, it's trial and error. It's an experiment, right? If it doesn't work, maybe I can try to caulk it and see if I can get the leak to stop. So at this point, I got my hole drilled. Now I'm gonna take my bulkhead union. I'm gonna stick it through. Make sure I'm gonna try to get it as aligned as I can to where there's no daylight on either side. And then I'm gonna just take the top, screw it, boom. There you have it, right? Now from the inside and from the outside, it looks good to me. From both the inside and the outside, I don't see any light around the edge of the bulkhead union. So I'm hoping, like I said, that's a good thing for no leaks. The inside looks good also, but you know, when we do an actual op test, then we'll find out. I think I'm gonna have to move you guys because I think the sun is probably gonna start to affect the camera. So, all right, there we go. So got everybody situated now, right? So, like I said, we got you. So we got our bucket with our, wrong bucket. We got our bucket with our bulkhead union right here. So now what I'm gonna do,
My mix of dirt, which is the raised bed.
I'm gonna simply put my bib inside the bulkhead union. All right, so there we have it. Right. Now, next step, I'm gonna take my adapter and I'm gonna run my line through it. This may take a minute. My line, even though it's a quarter inch to quarter inch, they don't exactly, like they line up perfectly. So it's gonna take me a minute to try to finagle this thing in there somehow. And this adapter does come with, a filter. It does come with a little filter. I don't know how many microns that is, but it does come with the filter. So I got my line laid, and I want to show you guys real quick what I did and why I did it. So I started from the bucket, and I laid the line how I wanted it and where I wanted it, right? So you can see it's actually going through and weaving through the collars, right? And it ends basically like right here. It ends basically over there. So it weaves all through the collards, all through the greens, right? All the way to the bucket, boom. And all I did was I used these little, yard staples or whatever. I used these to hold it in place. I haven't cut it yet because I wanted to make sure that it was how I wanted it before I started cutting. That way I knew exactly where I was gonna put my the drippers. All right, guys, so I got the whole thing laid out.
It works.
The desert rose right here, I'm keeping that in there, by the way. I got the whole thing laid out. I'm super excited because this is the second time I've attempted this. I tried it last year, it didn't work out so well. This year I got it to run exactly how I want it. So far, we're still early, but I got it to work. I have water at each one of the drippers. I'm super excited about that because I did it myself. obviously with the help of, you know, different people having to buy the right parts. But I actually did it and it was success. So I'm like super happy right now. So let me show you what I did. So here we go. This is just the test station, right? So I already filled my bucket up with water. As you can see, I already got stuff in it already. I ain't even tripping, man. I'm just so excited that I got it to actually work. So I do have a little bit of a drip right here. I got a little bit right coming out right there. That's fine. I'll maybe get some plumber's tape when the bucket is empty. You can get some plumber's tape and fix that problem. But check this out. Excuse me if I'm talking loud. The mic's right in my mouth. So I have one dripper right here. Where we at? Right there. I got one dripper right there, and if you look closely, it's dripping there. I have another one here. This one is dripping as well. Got another one over here about this. Where is that? Right here. There we go. That one's working. Where is it? Right there. That's working. That one's really working, and they're all working all the way around, right? And I was a bit concerned because I didn't think the bucket was gonna be high enough. And I was like, oh man, like the bucket's not gonna be high enough. And I messed around, I've already cut the hose without taking into account that I'm gonna have to lift it up again. But it's fine, it's cool, it's perfect. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. There's a do-it-yourself gravity-fed drip irrigation. I like it. I'm super excited about it. Like I said, I'm super excited. We had some success. I have a win, my first win of the season. I'm 1-0. I'm 1-0 for now. We'll see how them pineapples do, and then I'll tell you if I'm 1-1. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. Keisha, come say goodbye. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please remember to give us that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, post a comment, tell us what you're doing to water your garden this year.
Desert rose.
Desert rose.
In the desert.
A rose in the desert. She's not quite as fragile as a rose, but close enough.
It's a desert rose.
It's a desert rose. It's pretty durable. All right, so don't forget to smash that like button, comment, subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on our journey. Because as you can see, the days are getting a little bit better. Days have definitely gotten longer, and that way we can stay in contact with each other, right? But yeah, so don't forget to do all of those things, and we'll catch you guys on the next go round. Y'all take care. Bye bye.